Today we're going to be taking a look at a customer's Switch OLED motherboard that I was repairing. We fixed up the 3.3 volts on the motherboard, but the board was still getting stuck in what's called first stage boot, where you just either see the Nintendo logo in the beginning and that goes black, or it just does nothing and doesn't show anything on the screen. When these switchboards hang in first stage boot, it can be really annoying to figure out exactly which chip on the board is broken. Sometimes the NAND is corrupted, and it can be really annoying and frustrating when you're not finding any shorts on the board to figure out where to go from there. In this video, I want to show you why using a Picofly mod chip and installing one on these boards can actually really expedite the process of fixing these boards and make it a little bit more clear to you what is broken on the board. Outside of the 3.3 volt regulator that I had replaced on this board, we actually had two other chips that were fried on this board that I don't know if I would have found if it wasn't for using the Picofly, at least one of them. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. All right, so after the stream, I got the Picofly installed using the kamikaze method. All of the points read good in diode mode. So we can go ahead and plug this in. I'm assuming if it does glitch, we are going to be looking at some corruption on the eMMC, whether it be the boot partitions, hopefully not the GPP partition. So I got the power supply on here, and I'm just going to press power. And we're currently getting a weird current draw, 200 milliamps. Oh, never mind. It was glitching. I missed the fact that it glitched. So this should actually show us the screen, and you'll see if I press power. You see we get the glitching light here, and it glitched, and now we're getting a 200 milliamp current draw. So I'm gonna pop this thing in the console, and we're gonna see what we get on the screen. This battery is totally dead, 2.6 volts. So we're gonna have to use the bench power here. Okay, so we got the no SD card screen, and then let's see what kind of screen we get if we try to boot into official firmware. Just black. Just gets stuck. It's stuck at like 140 milliamps. So we need to see the contents of the NAND, and hopefully we don't have an empty GPP partition. That would be sad. And let's see what we get. Hopefully we don't see any Kate warnings for the NAND. Okay, so far so good. Let's go to console info, eMMC. Cross your fingers. We have a NAND. Okay, so something else is wrong then. Very interesting. Let me quickly just dump keys. And it does appear as though the console is able to read from the NAND. Okay. We got keys. This is very, very strange. And you can see if we go to eMMC, it's initialized. We have 400 megabytes per second, so it's running at full speed. This is really strange. We might still have corruption on the boot partitions. We can always back everything up and reflash things. Okay, so I've got enough space on this 256 gig SD here to get a full NAND dump. You know what? Maybe there's something else on the 3.3 volt rail that's not the NAND that is giving us problems. So that could be like Wi-Fi Bluetooth, that could be P13, that could be the M92. It's definitely not pulling the 3.3 volt rail down, but it could be preventing second stage. Really strange problem here. And before I do anything though, I have to get a NAND backup because we are able to read from the NAND. So let me go ahead and get a heatsink on here and get the NAND backed up. We'll come back when that is done. All right, so I have a full NAND dump of this thing, and the battery's charged now, but you can see I think the fuel gauge is shot because we have 0% battery apparently. We're getting basically nothing on the fuel gauge I see here. So I think the fuel gauge is potentially shot. And that can actually prevent second stage boot. So let's see if resolving that fixes our issue. All right, so our fuel gauge is back here on the back of the battery connector. It's this little tiny BGA chip back here. I've got this in a board holder, and we can pull this thing off. That thing comes off real easy. All right, so that's off of there. We can grab one from our donor, and we're gonna have to reball this one. And grab my little switch stencil here to get this thing reballed. Nice solder balls on there, and we can just pop this right on the board. Nice thin layer of flux. Now we should see this thing sort of pull itself onto the pads. We can just add a little bit more flux, and I'm going to straighten out that cap there. There we go. So I'm just gonna clean. I say we hook this up to the console and see what's going on. All right, so I've got the SD card back in here, and let's see if that fixed our issues with the fuel gauge. And already I can see it did. So we have a percentage now, and if we go back to battery here, we should see some more information. Yes, good. So the fuel gauge is now fixed. It may be that that was all that was preventing first stage boot. So let's see if we go to semi-stock here, if we get any boot. Oh, look at that. I think that was it. I think it was the fuel gauge, or maybe not. Okay, so we're stuck in first stage still. So we got the first logo. not the second one. Out of curiosity, let me just unplug this. That's the furthest we've gotten though. I think that fuel gauge got us farther. Let me just see the EMC again. Yeah, this looks all fine. We may need to do a level 1 on brick. So I'm getting 0.35 on this donor. I'm getting 0.021. So are we having some sort of short on the audio IC? Let me just double check. Maybe we can find a pinout for this LC5639. Supposedly this is the same footprint, even though this is not the data sheet for that specific chip. So pin 43 is this guy, VDD. Okay, so it looks like it's default 1.8 volt recommended. So I think we could inject a volt in there and see what's warming up. Something's definitely shorted. Maybe the audio IC is. I don't know that that would prevent boot. Even if it was, we're not supposed to have a short here. 0.02 voltage drop. It's not a dead short, but it's a short. I think we should put a volt in there and see what happens. Let's see with the thermal camera what we get when we inject there. This is kind of a weird place to inject. It's taking 21 milliamps. So that's going to be really hard to see. I'm guessing it's going to be the audio IC. And we could try 1.8 volts. We're getting more current draw for sure. Oh yeah, look, it's the audio IC. That thing's shorted. See that? So if I tap that rail, we get a heat spot directly on the audio IC. So we gotta replace that. I mean, I don't know that that would prevent boot, but it's worth finding out. We don't want to melt these plastic connectors, so I'm just putting some protective Kapton tape on them and a little bit of aluminum tape, just like this here. And yeah, this is to just shield those connectors there so we don't put heat on them. It's a big QFN chip, so we got to kind of heat up the whole area before we're going to get this guy off. So with that off, if we check in diode mode, I know the board's still warm, but it's just, we probably won't get, yeah, we got 0.45, so that was definitely the cause of our short. Let's go ahead and pull this from this donor here. This donor's getting lots of use today. Cool, got that guy off. There we go, just jumped into place there. Let the board cool down and then clean everything up. See, these plastic ports over here are completely fine after putting 2 layers on it, even though I had pretty hot air on there. All right, we're back in the console here. So we got the no SD card screen as usual, and let's see what happens if we go into the official firmware now. Do we get unstuck? Oh, no way, that was it. It was the audio IC. That's crazy. So wait, does audio work? Let's see. Oh, the speakers aren't plugged in. That would probably... Wow, okay, that fixed it. That's crazy. So it was a bad fuel gauge and a bad audio IC, which is just kind of weird. Wow, okay. I'm glad I was persistent with this thing. The NAND seemed to be actually completely fine. As we saw in Hakate, it looks fine. I was still pretty sure that maybe the boot 0, boot 1 were corrupted, even though they're there. I've seen it before where they're there and they're corrupted and it does prevent second stage boot. But in this case, the audio IC was the problem. Kind of a weird short. I think that's a first for me. I don't think I've had a shorted audio IC cause issues. I want to make sure the audio actually works. Yeah, we got audio. Hopefully you guys can hear that. Yeah, both speakers. Yeah, both speakers are all good. So yeah, we got a working switch here. I'm going to go ahead and just replace the fan connector because we got to get that latch at least replaced, if not the whole fan connector replaced. And I've got a few other things to clean up here, just flux wise, and I will get this thing back together and back to the customer. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.